What's up with it, y'all? We got a fucking amazing topic to talk about today because, I just love doing these thought-provoking conversations. We live in a time where we can't have candid conversations. We can't be open and honest and discuss different ideals without people being offensive, without people being defensive, without people being rude. So this is going to be that open playground for people to have those type of conversations and not be judgmental, just for educational purposes. Cool. So I'm gonna show y'all the post that I put up today, and it was a very, very, very good post to put up, and it was actually just a question. It was a simple. There we go. We ready to go. My bad. So it was a very, very simple question, and the question was simple: is that true? Okay. So here's the statement, and then the caption was a question. Owning a house is not an asset if you just live in it. It's a liability. Let's say this statement again first, right? Let's say the statement so y'all can hear it, feel it, register it before responding. Owning a house is not an asset if you just live in it. It's a liability. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back, okay? Owning a house is not an asset if you are just living in it. It is a liability. Okay. Now, after me saying this statement the correct way that it should be said, my question that I followed up on was, is that true? Is that true? Now, I had people in the comments saying that, it's an asset that is non-performing. Okay? I've had people saying that you can always pull equity out. I had people say that it's going to appreciate over time, and that when you sell it, it'll be worth more. I had people say that they bought buildings that are functioning and people are staying in them. Right? This is the question, though. This was the statement, though. The statement was, owning and living in a home is not an asset if you're just living in it. If you sell it, that's not living in it. If you pull equity out of it, you're not just living in it, you're using it as a financial tool. So that means you are investing from using your house. You're not just living in it. You are now pulling equity out of it and doing different things. It is not an asset if you are just living in it. Okay? So the statement to me, to Pushman Mitch, is 100% true. If you just live in your house and you don't rent it out, you don't pull equity out of it, you don't use it as a HELOC to invest in projects, if you don't have tenants that stay in it, if you don't sell it and you just live in it, it is not an asset. It is a liability. And why is it a liability? Because you literally are just living in it and paying your mortgage, if you have a mortgage, or you just paid it off completely. Then the taxes go up on it every year. You pay for that. HVAC goes out, AC goes out, floor needs to be redone. You have to pay for that. Ceiling collapses. You have to pay for that. Roof collapses. You have to pay for that. Driveway gets messed up. You have to pay for that. Your tree falls out in the middle of the road, falls on somebody else's car, something like that. You end up having to pay for that. That is what we call a liability. If you stop paying that mortgage and you get sick and you put all that money into it and they take it, it is a liability. Okay. Now, I would love for someone to get on this live and explain to me how, if you are just living in your house, your home is still an asset. If you're just living in it. If you're just living in it. Okay? Am I saying don't buy a house? I own 3. Okay? I own 3 homes. All right? Am I saying that I wish I didn't buy the house? No. I didn't say that. But what I'm saying is that statement was indeed True. Okay. So somebody has to get on. I'm going to just go ahead and let them tell us about it. Home staging house. This should be interesting. Right. I'm thinking we special.
Hello,
Hi.
from Germany, Cologne.
You from where?
Cologne, Germany.
Germany? Wie heißt du?
Zelda.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. 1 square meter, 6,000 euros here. If you want to buy.
You say you do what?
No, if you want to buy a house here on the left side on Cologne, it's 1 square meter to live, 6,000 euro.
That's insane.
What part of the planet are you?
I'm in America, North
What part?
America,
What part?
the western part.
Western part?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah,
My ex-sister-in-law lives there. Not my sister. Yeah, Brandy lives there.
that's nice. That's very amazing.
So
Can I ask you a question
always,
about the statement? The statement that I put up was that a home, if you live in your home, if you're just living in it and you own it, it's not an asset. It's only a liability. Do you have a take on that?
I just wanted to ask you right now what the difference between asset and liability
Oh,
is.
do you not know that answer? You could have asked me that in the chat.
Okay, I will do that.
All
Okay,
right, I'm gonna
because
let you go, but I'm gonna answer the question, but I'm gonna let you go, okay?
okay, okay, go.
All right, so let's just talk about that then. What is an asset? Everybody in the chat, go ahead and give her the definition of an asset, okay? And then we're going to go into the definition of a liability. Sometimes we do speak too quickly and forget that some people have not been educated on what assets and what liabilities are. It does happen. I didn't know what an asset was for a majority of my life, and I didn't care about liabilities because my whole entire upbringing was full of them. I had all type of liabilities that all over the place, right? Asset, something that makes you money, yes, but it's a little bit deeper than that. That is true, though. Asset is something that makes you money, but what else? She's amazing. Everybody, she has some good energy. I like that. Asset is something that you can own, can use to make you money. Okay, more than that. A little bit more than that. Something that generates income, that appreciates, that is positive on the financial scale. An asset is something that is valuable that you can literally exchange for something else of value. That can be money, credit, that can be a whole bunch of different things, but it's something that is beneficial to you on a positive side of the financial scale. So this is what an asset is. And a liability is the exact opposite. Liability is something that maybe costs you money, maybe depreciates in the value, maybe is on the opposite side of the financial scale and will not make you money, will probably be something like a black hole. Okay, so a liability is probably on the negative side most of the time, and an asset is normally on the positive side. But do all of us own liabilities? Of course we do. Will I continue to buy things that are liabilities? Of course I will. Of course I will. Will I continue to purchase things that are assets? Of course I will. But people try to act like if you're a person who buys a liability, you're bad, it's negative. No, I collect watches even though I'm never going to sell them. Like I got this Rolex watch. People talk about diamonds and how it depreciates when you buy it instead of if you buy a plain Jane watch. I did not buy my watches with the plan or intention to sell them. So even if they do appreciate over time, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not going to sell them. I'm keeping my watches, okay? So it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Same thing with shoes. Shoes are liabilities. I buy a bunch of different pairs. I keep them. I wear them. I love them. And I'm going to continue to buy any sneaker that I choose to buy. It is what it is. Now, assets are on a different side of the scale. So now let's go back to the main topic. The main topic was quite simple. Owning a house is not an asset if you just live in it. And this is a statement that you don't really need to listen. You don't really need to look deep into what I'm saying here. In the simplest form, owning a house is not an asset if you just live in it. All you're doing is living in it. You're not investing by using the house. You're not renting it out to other people. You're not doing a HELOC. You're not selling it. You're just living in it. Why would that be an asset? Why would you be offended by someone saying that? It's because you think that when someone says a simple statement, you have to have all of these different underlying things that you're saying. I own multiple properties. I make $70,000 a month with one of my properties. The other one I make $30,000 to $40,000 on average. I think that they are assets to me, but I do not live in them. Right here, I'm outside of one of my houses. This house costs $2.5 million. Okay, it is very, very big. It's a 13-bedroom house. Pool in the back, basketball court being built right now. If I was just living in this, if I was just living in this house would be the biggest liability that I could possibly ever buy. And I got to survive 30 years to finish paying off the mortgage unless I pay it off early, which I am by doing a simple strategy to beat interest, which is pay my mortgage on the 1st and the 15th every month, just splitting up the payments, not changing the amount that I'm paying, but by me paying early, I'm literally beating the interest on my mortgage and I'll be paying off my house a few years earlier than I would if I did not do that. This is a high level strategy that you may or may not know, but this is something that I've been doing since I bought my houses. I pay on the 1st and the 15th. My mortgage on one of them is $10,000, the other one is $15,000. I split those payments in half and I pay one on the 1st and one on the 15th. I don't pay anything extra, but I'm beating the interest and it'll let me pay off my house faster than 30 years. Okay. So trust me, I understand real estate and I understand assets pretty much just as good as anybody else that you probably would know. Okay. What I want y'all to understand, there's nothing wrong with saying that just living in the house is a liability. If you own it, you're going to literally be paying for shit and fixing shit that if you lived in an apartment at the time, if you just wanted to live, if you just wanted to survive and live in, you should live in an apartment probably. But if you do want to be an investor, you do want to own appreciating assets and potentially sell a house, potentially pull equity out and make investments from it. You want to use it as a multifamily or lease it or rent it or Airbnb it, then of course it's an asset. But if you are not doing any of those things and you do not plan to, if you just live in it, it is not a fucking asset. I don't care what no one says. It's fine. I would like somebody to come on here and explain how it could be or how it is, but I don't think that we'll have that. Does anybody think they can get on live and explain that to us? Does anybody think they can get on live and explain how just living in a house, not selling it, not investing, not renting it out, how it is an asset? Somebody tell me, please. Jasmine said, add her. I got you. Say less. I'm about to add you right now. I'm about to add you right now. And it's just really an ode to how powerful real estate can be if it's being used as an asset. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the live. What's your name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Nice to meet you. I'm Mitch. It's a pleasure. Can you explain how living in a home and not doing anything else with it would be an asset? Can you explain?
Yes. So basically, um, it would be a liability if you don't do it at all. I feel like you should also like it would be an asset if you just rent out the room.
That
Um,
doesn't count though. I'm talking about
mm,
if you just live in it. How can it be an asset?
um, so yeah, the only thing I could think of is just renting out the room. It
Yeah, I
could
mean,
be
of
an
course.
asset.
So that means that you're not just living in it; you're using it as a rental property now.
But you can also live in it another
Yeah.
room.
See,
Like you can.
but you're changing it. So the statement is
Hmm.
just live in it. You get what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay. I
So that's
got
the thing that I think was confusing a lot of people.
you. Hmm.
Just, and that word is very important. If I say you can't live in it and it be an asset, that's a totally different statement. But if you're
Hmm.
just living it, totally different. So what I'm saying is, if you just live, it's like an O2 saying, don't waste your real estate if you bought it.
Hmm.
Use it as an asset. Don't make it a liability. That's what the statement really says. But a lot of people really think that when you say, oh, you're just living in a house, it's still an asset. How? I'm not investing in it. I'm not selling it. I'm not renting it out. I'm not Airbnb in it. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just living in it. That's all.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
I
So
get that.
after that statement, because that's the only statement that was made. So Is it a way that it still can be an asset though after that?
Mm, yeah, I'm not sure. I have no clue.
That's all I'm saying. It's a it's a
Oh,
it's a play
gotcha.
on words. It's a play
Okay.
on words. But you get it. You're picking up what I'm putting down. So
Yeah, I get you.
the statement has to be, I'm not just living in it because now I'm going to rent it out. I'm not just living in it because now I'm going to sell it. I'm not just living in it because now I'm going to rent out a room.
Mhm.
Now it changes. So that's
Mhm.
kind of the true thing, right?
I got you.
Somebody said the home isn't the asset alone. That's the true question I was about to get to. It's not the home. It's what you choose to do with it. Just like it's not the business, it's not the restaurant. It's how they treat the people, how they market, how they advertise. It's what you do with the thing that makes it an asset versus the home
Uh,
itself. Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yeah.
You
Uh
got
huh.
it. You got it. You know what time it is.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. So, do you want to give anybody a message before you get off of this live? You want to leave them with something?
Yes. Just keep going. It could be. It's like when you in a business, it gets hard. Just please keep going. Do not
That's it.
stop. Stay focused, please, you guys.
That's great.
Stay focused.
Do you have a
Yes,
business that you run?
I do. Yes,
What's your
I do.
business? Tell us about your
I
business.
do. I rent out my cars, and I do. I'm about to start Airbnb right now.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I have a multi-family home, and I have a business partner that I'm getting into with that. So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
amazing.
thank
That's
you.
amazing. All right, how many vehicles do you have?
I have nine right now.
9 vehicles. What
Yeah.
kind of cars do you got in your fleet?
It's like we do it. Well, I do it with someone else. It's private owned. So we have like Honda, Toyotas, like basic
Economy
cars right now.
cars. That's perfect.
Mhm.
That's the best model to do.
Mhm.
Where do you live?
Atlanta.
You live in the A?
Mhm.
Are all your cars rented out 30 out of 30 days?
Yeah.
There you
We have
go.
clients all the time. Yes, and I
Are they
and I
are they are
and I
they
want you to
going?
mentor.
Do you have cars at your establishment right now?
No, they are rented
They
out
all
right
gone.
here. Yes.
Everybody put 100% booked in the chat. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody said, how can we contact her? If anybody wants to contact this young lady, if they want to follow this young lady, tap where it says the title right there, Owning and Living in a Home. Tap that. It's going to pull up our names. Follow both speakers so you guys can tap in with her. Because if you need to get a car, if you need to get a home, make sure y'all tap in with Shorty. All right? Cool, cool,
Yes.
cool.
Thank
All right, I'm going to let
you.
you go. I'm glad we got to speak today. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to let you rock. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's lit. All right, cool. Great conversation. We had a very normal conversation. Somebody said it's an asset if you can make money from it. Why like let me ask y'all something. Let me ask y'all something. Are we considering thing assets that we never make money from? Can I ask y'all that? Are we considering something an asset that we never ever in life make money from? Like, oh, I own this. Let's just say I own a one of one P1 McLaren, right? And it's worth $3 million, right? But I never sell it. I never sell it. I never make any income from it. I only spent the $3 million on it. I only spent $3 million on the car. I never sell it. I never rent it out. I never sell pictures of it. I never ever do anything with it that makes me income. Would I still consider that an asset? Somebody said net worth. That's great. That's amazing. That's great. My net worth is up. But do we consider it an asset if I never actually make money from it and I only lost money from it? I only lost money from it. I just want to know what y'all if y'all think that's true. Somebody said it's sitting losing value. It's not losing value. It's not losing value. There are some cars. I know y'all don't understand the car game. The thing that we're educated on a lot is real estate, but we're not educated on the car game. But there are cars that only appreciate. Okay? Contrary to popular belief, there are vehicles that there is a limited number of cars that were ever made in that particular body model style, right? And what happens is people literally buy them and store wealth inside of certain cars. And every time one of them gets into an accident and there's another one marked off the board of the world, the price of that car's worth goes up. It never goes down. There are cars that are one of ones. There are cars that are one of 100s. There are cars that are one of 300, and so on and so forth. That every time another one of those cars is totaled out and erased or damaged, the price of the cars that remain goes up, that has their factory paint, factory engine, things of that nature. The price still goes up every year. So don't think that cars are just liabilities. They're not. There are some cars that are assets and that appreciate over time, just like your real estate, just like your watches you like to talk about, just like anything else. But we just aren't educated on those things, so we don't talk about it as much. It's not as common knowledge, just like how we talk about assets being in real estate and things of that nature. But I think the thing I was trying to say, I want y'all to get to the core of the message of that statement, though. The core message of the statement was about it not being an asset if you just live in it, and that I don't want you guys to just live in your home. It's the same thing if you got a business that you don't market, you don't promote, that you don't advertise, you don't constantly try to solicit and make offers on your businesses. That's what I'm talking about. It's not about the home itself, because there is no home, right? There's no home that is really an asset. It's what you do with it that makes it an asset. Because if you never make money from it, if you never leverage it, if you never trade it for anything, you never sell it, it's never an asset to you. It's only a liability. If all you did was pay money for it, that means you lost money to acquire something that you never gained money from. Therefore, it is not an asset. And I don't care what you say about it. Like, I really don't. I don't care. If you think that it's true, it's just not true. So it's just not. Just want to put that out there. So somebody wanted to join the live. So I want, if you have a conversation about that specific topic, I would love for you to join the live and educate me a little bit. I'm open to it without trying to offend you guys or say anything negative about it. I just want you guys to indulge in the conversation, use your brain a little bit and start challenging yourself to try a little bit more, to do a little bit more, and be a little bit more of an entrepreneur, as the word would say. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do cash flow Kivo. I like the name. Cash flow Arkevo or Kivo. Let's just go from that one right there.
Shalom, what's going on,
What's
Push?
that, bro? How are you?
Man, blessed, bro. How you feeling?
Man, I'm stress free. If you ever hear me complain, that'd be rude as hell.
That'd be
So,
pointless. It'd be pointless
you know
anyway.
what I'm saying?
It
What,
won't
who gonna who
solve
gonna help me if
nothing.
I complain, bro? All right. So talk to me, dog. What you got to say on the specific
Nothing
topic at hand?
much, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I just think that defining terms is very important. Um, and I know you have a specific crowd that you're speaking to, so it makes sense to say some of the things that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna turn my phone sideways because it's gonna die on us. So excuse me if it looks weird. Does it now sideways? I'm gonna So,
Hopefully it don't die.
no, that's all good. So when like the average person who isn't motivated, who probably won't be entrepreneurial, who probably will rent, some of my tenants have been renters for 4 or 5 years at a time. Those individuals who have, average mindset. It's okay for some people, that's just what it is. And that's what the cards that they were dealt. I think it behooves you to do anything you can to own something, even if it isn't a cash flowing asset. Why? I don't have to tell you this thing, but for your audience, you have principal pay down, you have the possibility of appreciation, and if you don't have the possibility of appreciation, you have the stored value of your money being, stored in this property. Otherwise, if you're renting for 30 years, you'll never see the money at all. If come on hard times, you can never sell your rental, your apartment, and liquidate it and turn it into an asset, or at least tap into your stored value of wealth, your capital that you've been paying, and not have it be devalued as if you were storing it in as cash, right? So that's just something I wanted to offer, not really combat what you're saying, because you're absolutely right. The assets is going to make a difference in our lives as the people that we um, are cash flowing assets. It's going to free you from jobs, free you from situations that you don't want to be in. But if you're not going to be driven and do anything out of the norm, buy a house, please, because we need more people, Black people with home ownership. Your network is going to need it. Your credit's going to need it. Most of you guys aren't even utilizing technology to have your credit, your rent being reported to your credit. So you're not even benefiting from the rent at all, opposed to the risk mitigation of if something gets broken, it's the landlord's problem. But you know, the upside outweighs the downside in that ownership there. So that's my message to everybody, and I pray everyone hears me loud and clear and take both sides of what we're saying.
Somebody said I converted a portion of my home in NC into a recording studio years ago. My wife and I did the same in a place here in LA, office space and pre-production studio. Dope. All right, cool. So what he just said definitely has a lot of merit to it. So everybody take heed to that. He's talking about, the fact that he thinks that most of us should own their homes if they can. And when you rent apartments and you rent condos or houses, all of that investment that you are making every single month, every single
Yeah,
year, it doesn't ever mature into anything. It literally just goes into the air. It's something like insurance, right? We don't think about it that way, right? When you
yeah,
pay for your car insurance and you never actually have an accident, you just been paying that to no one. You get
yeah,
renter's insurance and you got an apartment, you pay that every single month. You don't care about it. You never ever get any money back from that. What he's trying to say is that if you buy a house, you potentially could
yeah,
get equity back. You could potentially sell that property and literally be able to. My bad.
yeah.
Somebody
Or push also.
called me.
No, no, you're good. Or push also. Don't let them forget refinance. You
Right.
can keep the asset and liquidate if the rates are better and get it at cheaper cost. So
Right. And
but you're not a
all of these,
player
and
until you're
all,
in the game, and most people won't do anything but buy a house, and that's most people's foot in the game.
that's
So
what I mean. So all of these strategies and all of these things are good if you are going to use it as an asset, I would
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Because there are people who I've known, plenty of people bought houses,
hmm,
sold houses at a
yep,
loss. All right. I've seen people put down money to buy a house, sell that house for lower than they paid for, loss, pay
yeah,
mortgage the whole entire
yeah,
time. But the
yeah,
thing about it is, these things are all just homes. They're just apartments. They're just
exactly,
businesses. If you let them be, though. So that's the
exactly,
whole kind of point of the
exactly,
conversation. And
and push
everything that
it.
we're saying is true, but you don't even have a say in the fight if you never actually buy the
Hop in the
house. You
game.
just
Exactly,
are renting the apartment, right?
exactly.
But if you're an entrepreneur,
Hey,
it's ways around it
hey,
too. We can do
I'm
it.
about to
We can
furnace
make the
finder.
apartment. We can make
Look,
the
I'm about to
apartment.
furnace finder my
Hey,
apartment. Stay in the
look,
studio
I'm
I'm
tell y'all
building
this.
out. You feel me? We're
Hey,
gonna make
look.
it work.
Hey, listen, bro. It's so crazy. Let me give him some game on here. So, I got a house that I rented in 2015.
Uh-huh.
I've been subleasing it since 2015. I don't own it. This is the dopest thing about it. And this is why I say it's not about the house. It's
Yeah.
about the person and what they do. So
Mindset, everybody. Knowledge.
I've been subleasing that house since I got it in 2015. I think the rent that they charge me on it is around 1,400. They're paying me $3,000 a month,
Hmm.
right? To stay in that place. Anything that happens, like when the AC goes out, when the roof, like I'm telling you, I had a stair replaced, the whole stairs, the
Hmm.
whole roof had to be redone. I didn't have to pay for any of it because I'm
Huh.
subleasing it, right?
Huh.
Now, if I were to be owning that house and the same
That's
thing
your
happened,
problem.
I would have to pay for it and do it all myself.
Yeah.
Although I'm using it as a cash flowing asset and the income comes from the person who lives there, I still got to pay extra money out of pocket that I wouldn't have had to do if I just had did that
That
other way.
purchase. Hey, hey,
So
hey,
there's
hey, push. Can I say this? I know you probably want to have somebody else on the call. I want to say this two, maybe one or two things before I'm done.
right.
One, how about everything is an asset if your mind right?
Hey,
If your
hey,
mind right,
you not
everything an
wrong,
asset.
my boy.
Because this
You
I'm
not wrong.
sitting. This is two commercial spaces and four apartments above it,
Mm.
and I secured the asset with a master lease. So technically, I don't own this, right? And I have an agreement where I'm going to refinance the property, give the owner the cash, and then I'll control it and own it all out. But the property, the commercial space, the studio I'm building out to create content, the front, is a storefront. It's on a hard corner. That'll be free and clear in terms of no rent, so it'll be all
Mm.
profit. So anything you have to have the mindset be the risk. What's the opposite of risk adverse? Risk tolerant. You have to be ready to take risk, and an opportunist, man. See the opportunity, and if you're not hurting anybody, go for it. So
Nah,
that's all I would say.
no, no,
And
no. I
everything's
think.
an asset, man. Go
Hey,
buy the
look,
car if you're gonna put it on Turo. Go buy the chain if you're gonna sell a brand on social media as something and then monetize it.
right.
Everything's an asset with the
Look,
right
anything.
mindset.
It's just like you can have a brain, but it's just a brain if you don't use it. So it's that's
Exactly.
what that statement was about. And I love when I see the comments underneath those and people like are so like
One second,
steadfast
bro.
on their beliefs on that. And it's just like, listen, read the question,
Yeah,
then then make your statement. But people
yeah.
got to really think about this. We're in a time where most people are not going to make over 40K a year, bro.
Nope.
That's just the
That's so
reality.
true. Yeah,
And they're okay with that. But they still
yeah,
want to comment and be in these debates. And instead of debating me, let's go out here and prove me wrong. Just
yeah,
prove me wrong.
yeah.
I
Go
would
buy the
much
house.
rather that. I would much rather you get on a live and say, "Yo, look at this, bro. Look at this," and you show, because that is even better. So what I want people to see from this live is these conversations can be had, and everybody can understand from each person's
Yeah,
perspective without being rude or disrespectful, and
love.
we can get a good message out of it when we talk this way
Exactly.
versus. You're an idiot. Why y'all telling people this, that, and the third? That's what you see all day, and that
No,
doesn't work. That doesn't help
no,
anybody.
no,
And
that
look at
doesn't
all of
move
the
the ball
people watching the
forward.
live that benefited from this conversation that we
Yeah,
having. Because some people gonna be like, "Damn, I didn't even think about that. I can get a master lease over a property first without having to own it
yeah.
and be able to make decisions with it without actually being an owner.
Without
Damn,
being the
I can
owner.
do that." And this is the reality that we face it. So I
Yeah,
want everybody here to know what he said was 100% true. And I want to reset the room as well. Everybody tap where it says right here the title. Tap that title. Follow both of the speakers right now.
love,
Definitely
bro.
gonna get some game from this man because I
Thanks,
can tell
man.
he already got some wealth
Appreciate
of
it, bro.
knowledge.
Coming soon, man. I got to get my confidence up, and I'll talk to the world soon, man. I'm building
Hey, look,
the
bro.
studio, man,
Hey,
so
hey,
it'll
look. You
be
need
ready.
some
It'll be
help.
ready soon.
Look, you need some help, bro. That's what I specialize in, bro. I take people from here to there, and that's all they need to be.
Man, listen,
So it's
we'll
just
tap in,
the
bro.
confidence perspective. So that's all it really takes. Making the same way I make $100,000 or make $1,000, I can make $1,000,000 in the same amount of
Yeah,
time if I had the confidence to even offer that.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's so
I,
true.
I
Yeah.
got I got a mentee,
Hmm.
right? He paid me $20,000, right?
Uh-huh.
And within 3 weeks, because he paid me, he knew that somebody would pay him that,
Hmm.
and then he got a $25,000 wire. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
But
is.
you got to think
It's a
about it.
perception. Everything's perception.
Would you feel comfortable asking somebody to pay you $20,000 if you never pay somebody that? Would it even feel like I don't see why somebody would even pay that?
Yeah,
And then you've got to realize that there's a whole different level of people that are paying
yeah,
500,000 without a problem.
yeah,
And then above, and then above, and then above. That's how I started making the more money. It wasn't that I changed anything. My confidence raised so high that I understood that the skills and strategies that I have are valuable to
yeah.
people, and different prices and different levels of experience, they will pay that amount.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
it
that's when I
makes
started
it makes
making
total
millions and
sense.
millions of dollars.
It makes total sense, bro. And I always challenge myself to when I do open myself up to the world to kind of make sure that the value exchange is there. And so that's all I want to make sure that when I do hop out there that I'm really changing lives.
Of course,
So I want to have like
you
tangible
change lives
stuff
on this
too.
live, bro. You
Love,
just
man.
change.
Appreciate
You don't even know.
that, bro.
You're gonna see. You just
Appreciate
change
that, bro.
lives on this live. People gonna DM you and say thank you. People gonna be like, damn, I never thought about it that way. They gonna ask you how you do this, and that's the reality that we live with right now.
Yeah.
That people don't understand that they are holding back. Like our dreams are attached to other
Mm.
people. Like if I don't get up and do what I do right now, my little nephew, he ain't gonna get up and go get busy.
Right.
If I choose to chill and relax and just go get a job, he never gonna think he can be an entrepreneur or get up and go crazy.
Right.
So our dreams are attached to
Yeah.
others. So right now, with you being on this live, you making this decision to say, yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna get on the live with Mitch. You just did one thing and helped somebody else by making that
Right.
decision. Somebody said I already DM'd them. Look at that. And that's
I
that's the
can't see
fact.
the comments. It's
Oh yeah,
frozen, so I don't know
yeah.
what's
So
going on.
if you move your screen and then come back, it'll start showing you the comments again.
All right.
Like you trying to swipe over and then come back,
Let me
it'll
see.
it'll show you the
I don't
comments
want to
again.
mess something up. It's not showing, but it's all good. I'll see the DM.
All right, cool. But
All right,
nah,
man.
people saying that they just added you and that they
Love
did.
it. I appreciate
So
y'all.
so this is the thing, guys. People got to realize, like I said, I just want y'all to understand how serious mindset is, because just like I was talking about the real estate thing, there are people who don't realize that a house is not an asset if you don't use it as one. I don't
Yep.
care what you say. Apartment,
Exactly.
same. A watch, the people be talking about, oh, this watch don't appreciate. It don't matter if you're not going to sell it.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
It's not an asset.
Right.
I'm just, if I throw this watch in the trash, is it an asset? That's the
Mhm.
same thing if I never sell it.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So you got to think about it from that perspective. And when
Yeah.
you get the confidence to like name your price, there is somebody who literally will wire you $1 million if you just ask them to.
Right. And I'm big. I'm big on the whole picture, y'all. So sell it or leverage it. That's the difference, y'all. We got to get into the real game of capitalism. You don't have to let go of your assets to tap into liquidity because liquidity is something they print out anyway.
Mm,
So find ways to keep your assets. And I don't mean assets cash flowing. Even the paper assets like the watches. And then go to the bank and say, hey, I got this $30,000 watch. Let me buy this building non-recourse because the down payment and this is in the third. You don't have to come after me. My assets that I already have is worth more than this property or whatever. So,
right. And
um,
and people don't even understand that that's even possible, bro. They
right,
don't.
exactly,
People think about money being the only source of currency.
exactly.
So what he's talking about is
It's
that you do like a
value,
collateral loan.
value,
You could take a
guys.
watch, you could take the title to your car that you own,
Yeah,
you could take your deed, you
yeah.
could do collateral for damn near anything, paintings. You can get like I was able to buy a Lambo off a painting that was
Come
appraised by somebody else
on,
that was
come on,
drawn.
bro.
I paid a
Come
nigga
on,
500
talk
for the
that,
drawing. They appraised that shit for a crazy amount.
bro. I
And the
need to
bank
get my
sees
shit
that as
appraised.
value. But people
Damn, I
don't
never got my
realize.
paintings
No,
appraised.
bro, that's what
That's
I'm
crazy.
saying. Because who makes the painting worth what it's supposed to
Exactly.
be worth?
Exactly. And I'm sitting there telling people about
No,
value.
it's
Like,
just
yo, you don't
facts.
know the price of this shit. Yo, what Jay said, we know the price of everything, the value of nothing. That's game. That's game.
It's
The
facts,
real
bro.
the real people are talking values. They're talking loan to value ratios, value, guys. So I don't want to take it, man. You got it, bro. Because this is my shit, man. This is my
No, it was
shit, bro.
good, bro. It was
I
good.
love this, man. I
They was
love I
loving
love
the
what you're
exchange.
doing. I
I
love the
like it.
people, bro. Like,
I know.
and I can't wait to really make a change, man. I'm proud of what you got going on and keep going, bro.
Nah, I appreciate that, bro. Thanks for jumping on the call too,
Already.
man. And I'm gonna just reset the room one more time. Make sure if y'all haven't followed them, click right here where it says the title. It's gonna pull up our names. Follow both speakers. If you're not following me, it's the boy Push. Make sure you follow my brother right here. We're gonna get
Love.
busy. All right. I'm gonna talk to you later,
Peace,
my
bro.
guy.
All right, man.
Cash flow, Kevo got on the scene talking crazy. So I hope everybody enjoyed this live. They understand exactly what the point of the topic was, why we even put this post up right here. I think it educated so many people and it's going to continue to. The post is actually doing very well. It's going viral. Everybody's commenting inside the comments. They're fighting with each other. People don't know how to talk like as if you were seeing a person in person. This is what I want y'all to know off of this live as well. People got to realize, like, I want to go back to the time where you wouldn't even text, email, or write something under somebody's post that you wouldn't say to them in real life. Because the way that we talk to people on social media is so desensitized. The way that we talk about people through these cameras, like with no regard for if a person will ever see you in person, we gotta stop just being blatantly rude and calling it social media. We're like, oh, that's just Instagram. Oh, it's just TikTok. Why are you making a big deal out of it? If you haven't realized by now that social media is now real life, it is real life. It is something that every person on here taps into on a daily basis, and we spend a majority of our time. If you go look at your phone or your app and you see how much your screen time, where you're using it, you're going to see that social media is a majority of the time where you spend your time. That means that it is life. When we see a post, most of the time we don't second guess it. We literally like, oh, it must be true if it came from this source. And that's how serious it is. So please take that in mind. Stop talking crazy under comments. You do not got to be disrespectful to have an opinion or comment. You also don't got to hate on things that you don't agree with. Why are you following people that you think are not what you want to shop with? Like, how you going to get mad at a person for promoting or marketing their company or business and you don't like it? If I don't like a company, if I'm walking through the mall and there's a store that I don't like, I don't go in it and just say, oh, this shit is trash. I just keep walking and go to the stores that I like. If I go have an experience that I don't like at a certain store, I don't go in that store and just start talking shit about it. I just walk to the store that I like. We got to start learning how to literally just be better people as a whole. The energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. And I'm afraid that a lot of y'all will never get to that next level when y'all don't, until y'all start realizing that this stuff is real. Energy is real. I don't care what your, whatever your religion is, whatever. everything that we put into the world is what we're going to get back. So even if you think it's small to you, you're saying negative things, you're talking crazy about people and just calling it under the name of social media, I promise y'all this, that energy is coming back to you tenfold, and you don't want that energy. So stop talking about it. All right. So again, owning a house is not an asset. If you just live in it, it's a liability. If you sell it, it's an asset. If you pull equity out of it, it's an asset. If you use it as a multifamily and you live in one side, rent out the other side. If you turn it into some type of place where you use for old folks' home, if you do a in-home healthcare there, it's an asset. But if you just live in it, it's a liability. If you got a business and you don't market it, don't promote it, don't give great customer service, don't follow up with people, it's just a business. It's not an asset. It's a liability. You're spending money on it and you're literally not making any money from it. So that means it is a liability. You are in control of what is an asset and what is a liability. And until you realize that, you are constantly going to be held to a liability standard. Become an asset yourself. You got a brain in your head. It's just a brain. It's a liability if you don't use it. I'm gone. Much love and respect to everybody here. If anybody wants to tap in with me at all you got to do is DM me the word call, and I would love to get on a call with you and help you get to a better financial place, better mindset to help you get into business, entrepreneurship, home ownership, credibility. Y'all already know what time it is. I'm probably one of the best in the world to do this. If you don't know, don't matter where you are at in the nation. If you Google rental car business coach, I will come up #1. You don't have to say my name. You don't have to say my company's name. All you got to do is say what I do. I come up #1, and it's because I'm #1. I'll talk to y'all later. Much love and respect.